I was using like purple copper tone. I was like buffing my face off at 8 because I was stealing my sister's products just to make my face super shiny with like Noxzema. It was horrific. And St. Ives apricot scrub. I mean, the technology was not there.
Yeah.
What is that holy grail skincare product? Like, what is the product that's really going to help me? And I'm like, sunscreen.
Welcome to the Captivate Standard. I'm your host, Erin Walker. This is the podcast that's setting the bar in all things aesthetics and wellness treatments in Central New York. Let's get into it. Erin Harrington, welcome to the Captivate Standard podcast.
Thank you for having me, Ireland.
Of course. I'm so excited to talk with you today about skincare, regimens, all the treatments here at Captivate. First, before we have that conversation, I want to know about you, how you got to Captivate, your background, education. Let's talk about it.
We can do that. So, aside from driving here this morning, I have been here for about 3 years.
Wow.
I have been in the aesthetics realm for 15 years now. I started at a really young age. Frankly, it was one of those situations where I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure my mom noticed that I love picking at things. So
Right.
I think that's also what led me to aesthetics, because it was her suggestion and it's actually worked out really well. I'm really comfortable and confident in what I do. And I really just went to a local trade school, and then I furthered my education in the Albany area to really hone in on aesthetic devices. You know, aesthetics is a very comprehensive realm now. We have a lot of facials, skincare, the daily things, and we have a lot of different technologies. And I've seen the industry really evolve exponentially since I've begun.
Yeah.
But I just knew right from the start, that's where I wanted to be. I got my training. It was very challenging to get into the industry because any employer, any office is going to want someone with background and education. How are you supposed to get that if you don't have any? And I remember my first job, I literally was told no. I called him back. You're giving me this job. I'm meeting you Sunday or Thursday. Which is it going to be? And the rest is history. And I became a lead esthetician. I trained with clinics. I've worked in dermatology, plastic surgery offices, med spas from there. I have been a national trainer for different devices. And what led me to Captivate is one of the owners, Christina Giancola. We worked together for years. She has excellent work ethic. And I think we just very much align on our priorities for patients and patient care. And just the way we go about our workflow and our days, it's worked out great. And this is what brought me to Captivate. It's just a more holistic office. And there's a lot of talent that's just women driven.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you what you would have been doing otherwise if it wasn't this, but it seems like this was destined for you. Like this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's really been interesting. There's just so much technology, and I just like that we've honed in on what is effective for patients. And I've just really honed my skills and become very confident over the years. And I think patients recognize that too, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. What does it mean to you to work with patients every day?
I think there's a lot of intimacy and trust that we develop, and I'm really bent on making sure we build a good rapport. This is an investment. This is a lot of time that's involved with skincare, and it's something that can become a daily part of your life. And I want to be honest with my patients and make things simple. I want to kind of cut out all of the noise and all of the different trends. Although they're exciting, I want to make sure that we can, build that relationship where they can continue to see me and they can continue to see improvements in their skin.
Yeah. So what's the most common client you see? You see a ton of different age groups, different types of skin. What would you say is the most common?
So the answer I'm going to give you would be something that would change every week. I think it's just like, it's so funny. My patient prior to this filming this podcast, what's your favorite treatment? And I kind of looked at her like, I think I change it every time someone asks me. I think the general demographic, though, it's always been a very women-dominated field. I do see more men coming in and voluntarily not being swindled by their partners to come in and like seek out some good skincare for themselves. But generally, I find at our office, I am seeing people in their late 20s to about like 60s, but I have patients ranging from 13 to 80. So it's very women driven. And I think a lot of people, the consensus is they're coming in because they just want to establish a routine, not just be in and out for like a quick event.
Right. So do you have a favorite client or someone or something that makes the job super special for you?
I love all of you. But yes, I think I have had very loyal patients who have followed me over 15 years. And it's so funny because it's like, I was a child and you trusted me, and we've just established that rapport. And there's so many that we can not just be professional and talk about why we're here for skincare, but actually like, how's your horse? How's your dog? Yes. How are your kids? Where's the travel team going next? Where's what concert are you going to? And I think I have so many patients that I can't pinpoint it because I have a lot of great interactions. I know one of them coming in later today, she and I are out of control and we are so goofy and we're like making things up and we're just spitballing and we are just cracking up. So I wish I could give you a straight answer. Also, what happens in the treatment room tends to stay in the treatment room. I try to keep it a little private, but we have fun.
It's almost like therapy for some people too.
It is.
They just pour their heart out. Yeah. Like some people with the hairstylist as well, when they get their hair done, it's like a long session and you're just talking. I feel like, is it the same for you?
Absolutely. We all do it to our hairdressers. I'm sure mine is tired of me yapping.
She knows everything about you though.
Yes. Yeah, she does. It's unfiltered. And it's the same thing with aesthetics. There's a lot of similarities to building a relationship with, someone that you're seeing so frequently because it is an ongoing process. But I know a lot about a lot of people, and it also allows me to practice. If something's a secret, keep it a secret. Do not break trust.
Yes. If there is something that they say to you, just seal the lips.
It's not all about skincare. That's like a tenth of it.
Yeah. So I want to talk about skincare now, actually, in the big picture, wellness. How important is it for someone's skin to contribute to their overall wellness? Does their skin contribute to their overall wellness? As in, it's not just about your face, but maybe it's about your hands and your neck and your chest, and it's a whole part.
It's more comprehensive. So, I mean, if you're just looking at it's the integumentary system, it's protecting you from viruses, bacteria, disease. You're only, even if your skin cells are turning over and you're getting that epithelialization from different products and services, you have your one skin. So you want to take care of it because there has never been a time where anyone has looked back like, I cannot believe I took such great care of my skin. Why did I do that? Why did I waste my time?
Yeah.
And I think that when you establish routine with skincare or services, it's not just about that one component of like checking and protecting your hands from UV exposure, which, that can cause collagen degradation, or trying to reduce sun damage on the chest when you're out and having a life and having fun. It's really just when you form those good habits, sometimes good habits follow in other parts of our lives. I mean, I've seen that with myself. I'm actually exercising for once. I'm like, okay, I have one body. Let's actually get some blood flow here. And because of that, that has bled into okay, if I'm taking the time to do this, let's focus on my diet. Okay. If I'm doing this, let's focus on a more stable routine. And I think sometimes skincare can do that. And that contributes to everyone's overall wellness. And then when you start with the face, you get into this new habit of I'm always taking care of my face. You know what? I have time to take care of my neck. I have time to take care of my chest. And you know what? My hands get a lot of exposure to the environment. So let's work on those as well.
Yeah. And with them, what do you suggest people do? Just sunscreen or working the skincare all the way down to your chest?
Yes.
It's a lot though. I feel like I'm using extra.
I think when you invest in medical grade skincare, and it is a very big change for those who are not familiar with it, or it's like uncharted territory.
Yeah.
You use less product. There have been times where I've given, no offense to drugstore products, but some of them whirl, and I am using like pumps of product to get the same job done as when I'm using my medical grade, where I'm like, let's just use like a
little
pea
pinch.
size, just a pinch, maybe a dime. Just think of coins to measure your skincare. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. But if you have it, the point is to use it. You only have one skin.
Yeah.
And it's not doing you any good if it's just sitting on your shelf, not to be used. The purpose is to introduce the product and introduce the ingredients. And if you're already in this routine of, treating your face, I'm already, ready for bed. I'm already about to go to bed. I already have the product here and I already know what steps I've established. Let's just extend that to the neck. Oh, you know what? I have just a towel on. I can reach my chest now. It doesn't hurt, and it only takes several more seconds per step to include those other areas. And the whole purpose is to use the product. But you may find with medical grade skincare, you're using a lot less product to get the same effect as something that might be like over the counter, or like something you may find at the mall.
Yeah. So that makes me think about a conversation I was having with my mom a couple of days ago about being preventative and how easier it is to be preventative and use skincare that's high quality now than it was before. I think tanning beds and people going out in the sun and wanting to lather up the olive oil or baby oil. And there wasn't much knowledge, I think, as there is now about being preventative in the skincare that's out there.
I hear that a lot from different generations where, there's a lot of regret. And I think because of that regret, they're a little apprehensive on even starting somewhere. Even if you wanted to take care of your skin back then, what was there for you? I was using like purple copper tone. I was like buffing my face off at 8 because I was stealing my sister's products just to make my face super shiny with like Noxzema. It was horrific. And St. Ives apricot scrub. I mean, the technology was not there.
Yeah.
It did not exist. So don't beat yourself up. Just appreciate what technologies we have now, what's current, what's relevant. And like, thank God for like our parents for giving us wisdom, because same, my mom was like, do not use the tanning bed. And I mean, I did.
Yeah.
It's showbiz.
Well, you have to try at least once, maybe.
I'm always cold. Yes, I'm so cold. And it was so warm. And, I don't know who's going to come up with a tanning bed that somehow is healthy for your skin, but I'll be waiting on that because I do miss that. I wouldn't even get tan. I'd get like a beige. I'd feel like J-Lo, super just great tan, great glow. And then I'd stand next to someone. It's like, oh, that's what I look like before the summer. That's what I look like before I tan. So, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it. But luckily, our parents tend to have wisdom of they were in a different generation. And, there's a lot of products now that can protect, but also you can reverse some of that damage. So I wouldn't sweat it.
And you mentioned it's never too late to start.
It's not. I think there is this idea, and I think there's a lot of comparing ourselves to others who might be like younger, and some people can get discouraged. It's not. I know the industry can really harp on youth, and that is one of those benefits of using products and having a routine. But just simply having a routine makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And having that stability in your life. And if it happens to make you look younger, that's great. But it's also, just think about it as like protecting your skin. It's never too late.
And it can be as simple as starting with a cleanser, because I want to talk about how important that is to just at least wash your face in the morning and at night. I know there's double cleansing, oil cleansing. You can really go crazy with it. But someone that's just starting out, talk about the importance of cleaning your face.
It is a very overlooked step. It is a very boring step.
Yeah.
But that's where you need to start. If you are just like layering product on and not wiping it off, or not finding something that's going to clean well, there's no point. You're just harboring bacteria. I don't know how some people can wash with water and not have a breakout. Could never be me.
Yeah,
but that is the most simple step to start with. I remember a time where the aesthetics industry had not evolved yet. And people were still using, like, the general public, I felt, were using a lot of like bars of soap or water. And they're like, what do you mean I need a cleanser? And I look back now, I'm like, so many of us are so familiar with these products because we're inundated with advertisements and marketing and products that are just on the shelves. There was a time, even like 15 years ago, where like people looked at you like you had 5 heads because you had a just general cleanser for your face.
Yeah.
And it's very simple to just use a product that has like enzymes in it, or just light chemical exfoliants that can just gently exfoliate while cleansing. So it's saving you a step. Some people, like myself, I do like a double cleanse in the evening because it does, with an oil cleanser, break up any residue on my face, makeup, which is definitely going to happen tonight. And then following with like a good gel cleanser, something that might have a little bit of a grit to it, you can really remove the day with a double cleanse.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but one of my favorite parts of the day is just washing my face, taking off my makeup. I don't know what it is. I just love having a bare face and feeling like so clean.
It's like taking your bra off when you get home.
It is. It really is. It's like a relief.
Like a face bra. Yes. It's like just starting over. I feel like a bridge troll when I get home, but it's like just take it all off and just have a clean slate. And then putting on a new layer of skincare is super helpful, because then you just, if you get home and you do it right away, then you just have more time for that good skincare to marinate. And I am one where I procrastinate and I wait until the final hour to go to bed and self-sabotage myself.
Yeah.
So it at least like gives you time to like cleanse and let that product sit there for a while to do what it's intended to do.
So in addition to washing your face and using products, there's also other factors that can contribute to the health of your skin, like a pillowcase or makeup brushes. Talk about washing and making sure everyone's staying clean and there's no bacteria, anything like that. Because I've recently switched to a satin pillowcase and cleaning it way more because it can get bad.
It gets really bad. I have my pillowcase. So I use just like a slip pillowcase, not sponsored, but maybe. Maybe so I use a lot of different like glycolic acid. So the one thing is, if you're going to get a silk pillowcase, if you get a light color, it's going to get discolored no matter how well you clean it.
Yeah.
So I have like this dirt bag pillowcase, no matter how many times I wash it a week. You have to get specific cleansers for the pillowcase, which is fine. A little goes a long way, but just to make sure that it still has that nice finish that protects your face and protects the skincare from really seeping into the pillowcase as much as it's trying to get into your skin. It's also great for hair, but the pillowcases are great. You want to wash those at least weekly. Just gentle cycle, let it air dry. Don't put it in the dryer. And then makeup brushes, same thing. You want to try to clean those as often as possible. I think a lot of us are very guilty, especially if you have several makeup brushes. That is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
The sponge. Oh God.
My sponge is like, it was bright orange. Now it's like some form of brown.
It's like, like 5 shades of brown.
Yes.
I can't do those. I wonder where did mine go? They're so hard to clean. And it's like, you almost need a whole lineup of them. So it's a pain in the butt to clean them. But if you're not doing it, you are introducing a ton of bacteria into the skin. And sometimes with my acne patients, we just get down to basics. I'm like, hey, before you invest in any new skincare, what are you doing or are you not doing at home? And I'm one where I set so many dumb reminders in my phone. I'm sure one's going to go off this week to, descale my espresso machine or like clean the grinder of my coffee. But just any little habits you can do to establish routine, and you're cleansing the tools you use to make yourself look and feel better, just do it.
Yeah.
If not, they're not going to serve their purpose.
Is there any other things you see people make mistakes in that realm? Whether it's, we talked about pillowcase, makeup brushes, anything else?
Don't touch your face. I know everyone said that. I know, because I say this all of the time to people. I'm like, so have you been picking, or do you pick at home? As I'm like picking their face, but just trust a professional. It is so tempting to pick at everything, and I will never bully my patients on that, because that would be like hypocrisy with how I'm always picking at their skin. It's just, there's a way to do it, and you should trust your professional, and you should not do it frequently. You should not be doing it at home. Don't touch your face. A lot of the things we will be covering, I have a feeling many people and viewers have already heard.
Yeah.
It's nothing novel. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just sometimes, you just need a reminder to just keep it simple, get back to basics, and don't have any little bad habits.
Yeah.
When your esthetician is extracting your skin, they're using different tools. There's different sanitization protocols. We're using gloves. I don't believe many people at home are going to be taking those measures, which why would you?
Yeah.
So just don't overdo it. And also when it comes to skincare, again, there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of different products, and sometimes keeping it simple is best. I think this industry has had a huge shift in overconsumption, and now we're kind of getting back to basics. You do not need a 12-step skin routine. People always get a little concerned when they're new here and they're new to meeting me. I'm like, I'm not going to breathe down your neck.
Yeah.
I will give you the tools. I will make suggestions, but don't overdo it with your skin, and don't pick it at home.
Yeah.
And that's where we really find success and longevity, with people actually doing things that are good for their skin. And that's where they see the changes.
Despite all of the action and noise that is out there, that you do need all of these steps, do you see people that have a normal skincare routine, or do people generally know the steps, or are you seeing that it's totally off the rails?
It can be off the rails. I won't name names, but I think a lot of people, the general public, is becoming more well-versed with skincare routines and what they should and should not be doing. Unfortunately, a lot of people coming in to see me, they've done their extent of like looking up information and trying to establish a routine themselves. They just sometimes need like a little hand holding and some guidance, and that's what they're here for, aside from in-office treatments. So I do have, more than ever, I have plenty of patients who already have a really great foundation. Sometimes I just need to zhuzh things a little bit. Like, okay, your vitamin C will not be used in the evening if you're using this form of vitamin C, where, you once in a while have someone who's still putting the sunscreen under the moisturizer. Like sometimes we have to alter some steps in their routine, but generally it's there. And every patient is always a little disappointed when they're like, what is that holy grail skincare product? Like, what is the product that's really going to help me? And I'm like, sunscreen. Yeah. It's not fun. No fun screen, but it really does help protect your skin. And what's the point of using all of your other skincare if you're not protecting yourself?
Yeah. From the beginning.
Yep.
And that's a great segue into anti-aging. I do want to talk about the fact that some of your clients are older and they do have more mature skin, and they're looking for ways to feel fuller in their face or more plump and get that more youthful look. Is there anti-aging skin care and processes out there that really do work?
Microneedling is definitely one of the top treatments I recommend for stimulating collagen. As we age, just UV radiation, time, oxidation, all of these different factors play a role in how your skin loses its elasticity. You lose that plump collagen that you once had. And that's where people may see more of their skin laxity. They might see what might look like a gaunt appearance to their face, aside from just general aging and fat loss we might experience, or just the movement of fat, kind of basically starting with an inverted triangle face. And then as we age, gravity kind of takes a toll. And then we see more bottom heavy faces as we age. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to address it, collagen is a huge thing. Stimulating collagen can be done with microneedling. Also, vitamin C products can also play a role in helping with preventing any oxidative stress, which can lead to that sagging. And And I think there are also other services like Silfirm, which is a radiofrequency microneedling device that I use often, where it's restoring that layer of collagen. So it's not going to give this appearance of, say, a change in weight or like weight gain, but actually just giving that youthful contour back to the skin where you still look like yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a great service that you can use in addition to when you see your injector, when you're having Sculptra done, which is a biostimulating agent, which is going to build collagen as well. So a lot of these treatments go hand in hand together to build collagen. But primarily microneedling services are what I'm looking to do to really make an impact on my patient's skin.
And you see that it is definitely working. I know some people may have seen online like facelifts. People are automatically going to just pulling back their skin because they want to bypass all the time that it takes. But when you get into a good regimen and you have all of the steps and you have someone like you to help, it's possible.
It is possible. It's just the ultimate test of patience.
Yeah.
So I hope we get along because you're stuck with me. And it's a lifelong process. The thing too with facelifts is I worked for surgery offices and there are excellent results. It's just sometimes it's this idea of a quick fix, and you know, it's almost like a car. Like you don't just get your oil change or your tires rotated and suddenly you don't have to do it ever again.
Yeah.
Once you get a facelift, in order to see longevity in your facelift, you have to keep coming in and maintaining that and having good habit at home, because that facelift might only last you 5 years, whereas the claim is it might have been to last 10 years if you had done X, Y, and Z in the office with an esthetician or provider, or done your due diligence at home with your skincare products and worn your sunscreen.
Yes.
Wear your sunscreen.
Another thing that I want to talk about in conjunction with anti-aging is retinol. Can you talk about retinol, retinoids, the difference between that? Because I think it's a buzzword right now.
So with retinol and retinol, AL, retinol is an alcohol-based form of vitamin A, where retinol, AL, is an aldehyde form of vitamin A. And the difference is retinol with an OL. Why do they name them this? Why do they do this to me? Well, you know, come on. Take it from the top. So retinol, when it needs to go through further conversion process, it makes it a more tolerable form of vitamin A. Whereas retinol, which is the aldehyde version of that, it's a more pure form of vitamin A. It does not have to be converted as much to a retinoic acid, so it can be more irritating to the skin. But it's also great for mature skin because it's getting to where it needs to be quicker. There's other skincare that I recommend, different corrective moisturizers that can really help with easing any of the known side effects of vitamin A. The thing is, when you age, your cell turnover is slowing exponentially. And vitamin A is basically forcing your skin to turn over at a faster rate. And when you do that, you're compromising things. You're shaking things up where your skin is becoming more red. It's going to feel a little stingly tingly after using other products. It's going to dry it out and compromise that skin barrier. And these are very normal things. And this is why people kind of have this like off-putting idea of using a vitamin A, or they give up on it. And it's about being very honest with patients that you have to stick with it in order to see it through and not experience any of those side effects. Because when you do stick with it, you start knowing who's using it.
Yeah.
And I think there's also this perception drift of when you start using a product, even if it's a medical grade skincare product and there's clinical studies, you're usually seeing results in 8 to 12 weeks. And we forget what we look like. Usually you get feedback from like friends, family, coworkers, anyone around you, like, your skin looks amazing. You're like, what have I done?
Yeah.
It's because you started that retinol 6 months ago. It's great for acne. It's great for collagen stimulation. It's just forcing your skin to turn over faster as if you were of a younger age.
Yeah.
So it's a really great tool. It's just about using it appropriately and then knowing how often to use it and not overdoing it so that you're compromising other parts of your skin, like your skin barrier.
Is there any other skincare products that because I think this one is kind of like a secret, maybe. I know it's a buzzword, but some people, like you said, get deterred and they don't use it all the way through.
Mhm.
But is there any products like that that you think are really effective but are not well known?
I was going to say sunscreen until you mentioned that last part, because people are off put by it because there's so many sunscreens out there, and there are so many garbage sunscreens out there still. And if you go to a drugstore, like I was at, not a drugstore, but I was at a popular destination to buy makeup and skincare over the counter. And I checked every single sunscreen because I just wanted to find a different body sunscreen to bring with me to camp, and all of them had chemicals. So there's a lot of not great formulations that can potentially irritate someone's skin or make them break out, and then they're completely off put to the whole product altogether. There is a product that I'm partial to, and I've used it for 14 years, and it's just one of those things. I think at this point too, if you told me the product sucks and it does not work and it's making me older, I think I just love it in my routine so much I would never give it up.
You wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care. It's fine. It's from SkinCeuticals. It is the Resveratrol BE. It is not a product I have people on board right away because I want them to establish other steps in their routine that are crucial, like a great cleanser, vitamin C, sunscreen, even a good moisturizer. But this is a nighttime antioxidant. So while your vitamin C is working in the daytime and it's preventing any oxidative stress, resveratrol is a nighttime antioxidant. So when you're using a nighttime antioxidant, the intention is it's going to help with healing the skin as you sleep, because sleep is also restorative with our circadian rhythms. And this is also trying to heal the damage that was done throughout the day. It contains, I think the statistic is 150 times more resveratrol than a glass of wine. So when you're topically putting that on the skin, it can really help with protecting your skin, give it that radiance, and it helps with skin density. Okay. So that's my favorite product. And you use one pump at night, and I use it every single day. And it's the first thing I put on after I cleanse.
So you were talking about all of the ingredients that could be inside a sunscreen or any sort of skincare product. So when you're looking for something that is healthy for your skin, that works, you're looking for the least amount of ingredients. Is that right?
It's not really that. It's not about less ingredients. It's about different ingredients. I am not an esthetician who is going to be hell-bent on organic, non-chemical based skincare. I mean, water is a chemical. I will always trust science. I will always trust these known ingredients in the industry. And that is where you're likely going to see more efficacy in your products, is if you trust these science-backed products, and they're going to get you where you need to be faster. But in regard to sunscreen, I personally prefer and recommend to my patients that they stick with a mineral-based sunscreen, because I think there's less risk of agitation to the skin. It doesn't cause eye irritancy. That's not even a word, but it's not going to irritate your eyes.
Yeah.
So it's also something where if you use a chemical sunscreen, you have to wait 15 minutes for the chemical to actually absorb into the skin so that it can kind of deflect any UV radiation from hitting the skin. And that's how it protects, where mineral-based is a physical blocker. So it's literally like putting an umbrella over your face and blocking it from UV radiation. It instantly works. And it just, to me, makes more sense to get that gratification and just risk less irritation to patient's skin.
So the last part of the anti-aging section here I want to talk about is smoking and alcohol. Are those things playing a factor in skincare?
100%.
Okay, I know.
We just want to have a good time. So I personally, getting to my situation, I have not drank for 3 years. And aside from the fact that alcohol is very dehydrating and it is not doing any help with keeping your skin plump and hydrated and taken care of, I think easier said than done. I totally understand that, it's hard to quit alcohol. A lot of people do use it for getting through social situations. I'm the drunkest girl at the bar and I'm the only one not drinking. So I don't need that, fortunately for me, but it's really, it kind of kills other habits, and it can really set you up to not do certain things. Like say you had a night of drinking and you feel like garbage the next day, you're not going to want to maybe exercise. You're not going to want to like focus on your diet. You're not going to want to focus on your skincare. You're just trying not to die because you just had so many drinks the other night. But also just having a couple glasses a week, I'm not against it. I'm very much, hey, we only live once. Yeah. Enjoy what you want, but just know that it's not really helping the cause if your next focus is on skincare. And maybe if you do cut back or find you're able to cut back on these habits and you see that in your skin and you see more of that luminosity in your skin, it might motivate you to kind of do it and partake in it less. Yeah. It's easier said than done. I'm not trying to not be understanding of situations because, I mean, there's smoking cessation and alcohol cessation for a reason. It's really hard to quit. Mm-hmm. And there are way too many delicious cocktails. So I do miss mezcal. I do miss tequila. But yeah, it's really hard to kick, but it really does make a difference in your skin.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So to wrap up skincare and that part of our conversation, there's serums, antioxidants, acid, toners, so much to choose from in a skincare routine. Can you give us 3 to 5 steps that you go by that are easy for all ages?
Okay. I would say cleanser.
Number 1.
I'm going to hit the microphone. Cleanser. Vitamin C. I would also say an eye cream, moisturizer, sunscreen. Okay. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If we were to pare that down, cleanser, vitamin C, sunscreen. Obviously, like I said earlier, you have to take the day away. You have to cleanse your skin. If you don't have a good foundation, then your products will not absorb and we're not going to get what we need from the other products that we put on later. Vitamin C is a really powerful antioxidant. You want to make sure you have a stable form of vitamin C. The vitamin Cs we offer at Captivate do just that. What happens is your body basically loses electrons from oxidative stress, from UV radiation, general aging, being out in the environment. Oxygen can really be harmful to the skin, and the vitamin C donates electrons to the skin and re-energizes it, so it protects your cells. Okay. So it's more of a preventative product, but that will brighten your skin over time. And it also helps with collagen and elastin. Basically an eye cream, a lot of people do ask me, like, do I have to use an eye cream? I'm like, I mean, it's your life. Do whatever you want. It's just skincare. Come on, I'll give you the tools. Like, here it is if you want it. But your under eye area, that skin is a third thinner than the rest of the face. So wow. I promise it's not just a gimmick, but the eye cream should be a more micronized formula. So those molecules can actually penetrate into that thinner tissue versus a moisturizer that has larger molecules where it's just going to sit on top of the eye area and not absorb and give you as much oomph to your skincare and what you need for the eye area to help with signs of aging. Obviously, moisturizer, everyone, it's a great starter product. It's safe, it's friendly. We all know moisturizer, we all use it. And there's also different ingredients I can suggest for patients to hone in on what their needs are depending on their age. And then finally, sunscreen, which I won't really get too much into because I've been talking about it a lot, but protect your skin. If you're not doing that, there is no point of doing anything else. But also if you're not wearing sunscreen and you're not doing anything else, get into something. Yeah. But set up an appointment with your esthetician.
So that's a great way to get into treatments and services now at Captivate. How often should someone be getting a facial on top of everything that they're doing at home?
That's a good question. So do not prioritize just in-office treatments. Really make sure you have home care. It's that concept of, 20% gym, 80% diet, except in this case, 20% in-office treatments and 80% skincare. So you don't have to break the bank. You don't have to come in every week for something. That's probably too much of a good thing, frankly. Mm-hmm. No matter what your age and your skin concern, I do have a lot of people like, I want a custom plan. What are we doing? I want the whole year laid out of all these different services I'm going to get done. I'm like, I'm not going to do that because I need to assess your skin every time I see you. We can have an idea of a plan, but we're going to look at your skin every time you come in, which I recommend every 4 to 6 weeks, regardless of your age. And I don't mean that in a sense of like, you're all the same to me, so everyone just come in every 4 to 6 weeks. It's easier to schedule that way. Your skin turns over every usually 28 to 35 days. So that's a good range for a lot of people, no matter if you are the child who needs a good skin routine for their acne or someone who's looking for age correction. Also, if you were to come in sooner, it can just be so exhausting that you feel like it's like this full-time job coming in every week getting services done.
Yeah.
It's going to probably kill your motivation to keep up with it. It's not going to feel sustainable. We're 4 to 6 weeks, just like getting your hair trimmed at the hair salon. You know, it's doable. And then I have, you know, you have to be sensitive to schedules and budgets, and something is better than nothing. So if you can't make it work with life or other factors that you can't come in every 4 to 6 weeks, it doesn't hurt to come in like once a quarter to do something, but really make sure you invest in your skincare.
Yeah. And I think about when I moved away for a job I had before this, I missed my facial lady and I was like, I want to see her, and I couldn't see her. I was just in a different part of the state.
Yes.
And when I finally came back, I was like, I need this. So it's so worth it and relaxing, all the things.
A lot of routine. I do have people still coming to me from like Texas or Connecticut or Pennsylvania or the city. And it's like I'm really thankful for them and that they trust me, but it is so hard. And like, you need to establish a routine with someone you trust.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, when there's like these huge life changes, at least you have your skincare in your medicine cabinet.
Yeah, at least you have something.
Yep.
Erin, can you talk about some of the specific skin services that Captivate has?
Can I? So we do have several services. We have a variety of different Hydrafacials, chemical peels, microneedling, and we also have light therapy devices that can address pigmentation, broken capillaries, hair reduction. So what I see a lot is new patients tend to be geared toward doing a Hydrafacial. Hydrafacial has been around for many moons. I love it. I've operated it for a long time now. And it is exciting to see how the protocols have evolved. When I started offering Hydrafacials, it was what they now call a signature Hydrafacial. You get your great cleanse, exfoliation, extractions. You also get a peel solution in the mix, and you also receive antioxidants to help with firming and evening the skin. Since then, it has evolved where we can customize further. And before I go any further, Hydrafacial is a device. It is a workstation. It's not what you would generally expect with a facial where we're using our hands. It's all run through a machine with a special wand and different tips.
Okay.
And that's how we can introduce different custom serums to the skin. We can draw out impurities with this wand. So sometimes people are a little taken aback when they first start a Hydrafacial, and they may have not had like a friend to tell them like what to expect here. But it is considered more of an express treatment, but you're getting a lot out of it in that short amount of time. I tend to be more of an intention-based esthetician. I am not going to lie. I am not a facial esthetician. I am very much of the mindset of, well, what is this doing for your skin? I hope it relaxes you when I do it, but my intention is to not make you feel relaxed. I'm not a relaxing person. Do not come to me. I'm not, I'm high strung. So if you do a Hydrafacial, it's machine based. It's going to really work at your skin and exfoliate it. And we can customize with things like lymphatic drainage, light therapy, special boosters to hone in on something that we want to focus on with your skin, whether it's extra, sun damage from a busy summer, or inflammation in your skin and redness, or the hydrophilic, which is a 9 peptide based serum that's going to help with elasticity and firmness and wrinkle reduction. So it's really cool how Hydrafacial has evolved. And there's different tiers that we can invest in to address your skin.
So who is the perfect client for a Hydrafacial? I know with microneedling, it helps with fine lines and wrinkles, whereas a Hydrafacial may be for who? Everybody. Okay.
It's a very user-friendly treatment. It's safe for younger skin that is more delicate, and we can gently exfoliate and get them in a good routine that is something that's not scary to them, because sometimes younger patients can be a little intimidated. They may have not been the first one to choose to come in. Maybe their parents are, looking out for their best intentions with acne, and maybe they had a hard time in school and they didn't want their kids to deal with the same issue with acne. So the Hydrafacial is friendly. It helps support a healthy skin barrier. It also is a great time to educate them on forming good, doable habits like cleansing your skin and wearing that sun protection in sports. It's great for those who are new to skincare altogether. It, again, is very friendly and does not give you social downtime, and you get that instant gratification from the service. Unless you're me, I look like a tomato, but I look amazing the next day. But it's also great to support a healthy skin barrier, even if you are familiar with like more aggressive lasers and microneedling services and more aggressive at-home skincare. There's something to be said about nourishing your skin and hydrating it with appropriate ingredients and not always chewing your face up and tearing it apart. Because that can stress your skin out and age you more if you're not replenishing it. I think there's been a huge shift in that in the industry as well, kind of going off topic here, but it's really about making sure your skin is hydrated. And that's where Hydrafacial can accomplish that with the various different ingredients throughout the process.
So you mentioned there that you leave kind of red, and with some of the services like microneedling as well. You are
like a fire hydrant. So I will say not everyone looks like a tomato. I'm just like one of the lucky few. I get every side effect in the book, but that's showbiz. And you can totally get benefits from these services. So I ain't stopping anytime soon. So I call it social downtime. It's not something that's going to leave you trapped at home and bedridden. I mean, I will proudly go to Wegmans with no makeup looking busted after a service because everyone else is judging, but I'm building collagen. Who's the real winner here? So I have gotten out of the habit, for example, with microneedling. I look for clinical endpoints from my perspective. So my perspective is if someone has moderate erythema or like just general redness to their skin, that's causing cytokine production, that's causing blood flow to the face, that's going to do what the whole intention of microneedling is, causing a controlled injury to basically force your skin to go through its healing mechanisms and act younger, therefore causing collagen production, therefore everything looks smoother and younger, and just generally healthier and just helps with skin density. But the clinical endpoint I'm looking for is redness and pinpoint bleeding. And I've gotten out of the habit of finishing a treatment like, you look so good. It looks great. Because great to me is I just tore your up. Like this is the whole point of it, and safely tearing up to be exact. But you will look rosy. You will look like you had something done. You will feel like you have a bad sunburn, a bad windburn. We are causing a controlled injury. So you will have social downtime. It is an amazing way to get out of plans. I love canceling plans. Don't we all?
Yeah, sign me up.
Yep. So that's a way to say, hey, I will be inside for the weekend. Or if you go out and about, just be really cautious of sun exposure, because after certain services, you cannot put your usual skincare on because your skin is open, it's prone to injury, and you have to be really cautious with how you go about the next couple days. You can't exercise afterwards. So if you want to work out the day of the treatment right before your appointment, I'm cool with that. That's fine. It's just what you do afterwards that can harbor bacteria. And that's where like some plans might need to be canceled, but you can still be out and about if you wish. It's just more of like, some people are more private and others have no shame in what they look like.
So, Erin, there is a device that Captivate has that doesn't leave you looking like a tomato, though.
There is. So, Silfirm X is basically combining multiple services into one visit, and it is technically more aggressive than microneedling or traditional microneedling. And it's basically taking radio frequency, which is going to tighten that dermal layer, that lower layer of skin that's below our epidermis. And it's also combining it with microneedling. So the device is still a workstation, and we're using a wand with a special matrix of microneedles that's going to stamp into the skin. And when those needles penetrate the skin and they're causing that vertical injury, That's telling the skin to stimulate growth factors. That's telling the skin to regenerate and renew collagen. But it's also at the same time, once it's penetrated into the skin, emitting radiofrequency. Radiofrequency in the industry is generally a safer treatment for skin that is not going to risk damage like light therapy or laser could, because it's not heat induced, and it's causing an instant tightening of that layer while building collagen. So you're getting more of like a subtle lift to the skin, and you're getting a higher depth of penetration with the needles. And yet, because of that, it bypasses a lot of that physical injury we see compared to like traditional microneedling. And I'm not knocking traditional microneedling. I love both.
Yeah.
I swear by regular microneedling, but Silfirm's great if you want all of the benefits, further anti-aging, but you also want little to no social downtime. So I've gotten to the point in my house where I come home and like my face is bloody or it's red or like my skin's flapping and peeling off in the wind. And I've conditioned my partner to say, "Oh my God, it looks so great, honey." I'm like, "Yes, that's the right answer."
Yeah.
But I even had to tell him, like, "Did you know I had something done today?" when I had my first Silfirm treatment, because I think we're so used to my skin looking compromised after any little thing, even a Hydrafacial, that he was like, "Oh, I had no idea. It looks good. It's glowy. What are you talking about?" And also another secret is adding exosomes after having microneedling done, because your skin is open. So exosomes are a very small molecular product that is basically going to regenerate the skin at a faster pace. And when you apply those after a service where the skin is open, it can really reduce healing time, and enhance the results of what you're having done.
So what about chemical peels? Is that different from using like glycolic acid, salicylic acid at home?
It generally is different. I can't speak on all chemical peel brands and solutions. I do use a lot of SkinCeuticals peels. I've worked with them for 13 years. They are very predictable and patients see great outcomes from them. And a lot of the peel solutions don't involve that social downtime. You can, again, unless you want to get out of plans, by all means, but you can actually have that done and then go to like dinner that evening, see friends. And if anything, people are probably going to compliment that your skin looks really fresh and glowy, like you had a facial. But there are various acids. What I do like about SkinCeuticals is they generally use something called a free acid value. So the argument with patients is, well, I mean, I'm coming in and I'm spending this money and this time getting these peels done. Why am I only getting a 20% or a 15% peel when I can go to the big box store where I get my makeup and my skincare and I can buy like a 50 or an 80% peel? My sister, you would have no face if that were true. Free acid is the actual measurable amount of acid that is actually working on your skin outside of all those silly buffering agents that kind of dilute the products that you're getting at big box stores. So, you might be getting a 40% at it is not acting as a stronger peel, even though the percentages are very different. Where it seems like a lower percentage in office, you're actually getting that true acid value because that's outside of any buffering agents. It's going to act like a stronger solution, and bring your skin to a lower pH, which is going to give you more outcomes. Going off of that too, there are some that will give you a little of that social downtime, that flaking and peeling, but usually I do like to ease your skin into things. I don't want to agitate your skin and throw it a curveball when you might have no good skincare habits at home. We don't know how your skin tolerates something. We'll ease into your peel solutions as we progress. And I always want to let patients know that this is not a race. I don't know if some people, their outcome is to just have all of their skin fall off and be a skeleton at the end of this, but you can just be consistent with a routine with lower peel solutions that are a lower acid value and see really great outcomes compared to doing like one doozy of a peel and then like never touching your skin again and actually like maintaining it.
So a chemical peel can be for discoloration, hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, wrinkles, like all of those things.
Yeah, it's really like an all-in-one solution, which is nice. It's I don't ever want to feel like, patients feel like it's this one trick pony situation where like you're always recommending a peel. Of course I'm recommending a peel. They work so well for everything. You're getting that luminosity back to your skin. You're causing that cell turnover. You're signaling to the skin to bring new healthy cells to the surface with that epithelialization. You're breaking up desmosomes between the skin cells. So it's breaking things up without your skin always peeling and flaking like we associate the term peel with.
Yeah.
It's helping with hydration. It's allowing your products at home to absorb more effectively. And a lot of the peel protocols that I offer include dermaplaning in the mix, which most of us love. I remember when I first offered it, like 15 years ago, people were like, oh my God, I'm not dermaplaning. I'm going to grow a beard. If that were to happen, I would like throw myself down a well. I would feel so terrible.
Yeah.
It's not going to change like how your hair functions and how it grows. But it's going to be a great prep so that you don't have any dead skin on the surface physically, so that that peel solution can actually absorb effectively.
Yeah.
And for those who are like, hey, I just like do not want to try dermaplaning, which everyone tries dermaplaning. It's really something we can customize, and you can just have the peel solution without dermaplaning in the mix.
Okay. And what about lasers? So at Captivate, there is one laser device that does everything, or is there multiple laser devices?
So we have one workstation, and a lot of laser and light therapy technology, it's almost like you consider like an iPhone, like your workstation is the iPhone, and what services you offer are the apps on the iPhone. So we have the Venus device, and this is basically covering a multitude of different concerns. So if you're interested in reducing redness in the skin and helping to collapse capillaries from like capillary damage, if you are interested in reducing hyperpigmentation and breaking up that pigmentation that has built up on the skin, which can also partially be addressed with Silfirm, by the way, which is really unique about that device. And if you want to have collagen stimulation by doing the Tribella protocol from Venus, which is basically a 3-step system where you're having intense pulse light to address your hyperpigmentation and the color of your skin to make things more even. And then you follow with the diamond tip, which is going to basically stimulate collagen and reach a thermal point that is going to basically firm the skin, and then follow with something called Viva MD. This is like such a mouthful. It's all on our website, by the way, but it breaks it all down, and you can always consult with me. But the Viva MD, which is more of a microneedling resurfacing step, you can get 3 services in one protocol to help with color, texture, and firming the skin. We also have the option of hair reduction, which is a big one for patients, especially going into fall and winter. I suggest if this is something that is up your alley and you want to address excess hair in any area, we treat head to toe. Do consider starting that in the fall and winter when you are bundled up and you are not seeing any sunlight in Syracuse.
Yeah. So you won't have like a reaction or anything like that.
It's really challenging because patients, when you see something, you address it. But when it's hidden, like you're not thinking about it. You're like, oh, I'm not worried about it. But in the summertime, that's when your pigment comes out because it's stimulating melanocytes that produce pigment, where you also are wearing, covering up less in the summertime because of the heat. You're like, oh, my leg hair. Oh, I want to address that. But yeah, it's something you do have to be disciplined in keeping up with a protocol to see the results from hair reduction, but also making sure that you start it in the fall, winter, because these are services you do not want to be in the sun when having them done, because it can backfire and cause a lot of damage to the skin and worsen your pigmentation, or cause burning, blistering, and scarring if you have hair reduction and then you see yourself out by the pool sipping a cocktail.
Yeah, that would be scary.
We don't want that.
So in addition to the treatments and the services that we have a ton of skincare from our beauty bar at both locations, at Captivate Skin Atlas and here in DeWitt. Can you talk about some of the lines that we have and some of the products that we carry?
We carry a wide array of products, which is great, makes my life easy. And we have excellent skincare providers here, and the staff are very well versed in what we offer, so we can help educate and guide you for what your needs are. We carry multiple lines. So we have Skin Better, and we have SkinCeuticals, Revision Skincare, Obagi, and Plated. Me personally, I'm partial to Obagi and SkinCeuticals. I think those serve me well. But we at Captivate want to make sure that we have a variety of different ingredients because everyone has a preference, as we should. Something that someone loves, someone might absolutely dislike the texture, and something might be a little too aggressive for one patient where you need something stronger and more customized for a patient who has, this is not their first rodeo and they just need to kick their skincare up a notch.
Yeah.
Obagi Medical has been around since the 80s. It's a very effective line for patients who want to address hyperpigmentation and sun damage. One of my favorite products from the line that I recommend often and I use every day is the Obagi blender. It is a prescription grade hydroquinone based product. It's also great at reducing texture on the skin, but it's really helpful in suppressing hyperpigmentation in skin that's used in the evening. The one thing about that is we do have it on our apothecary. And because we are a practice that is under a doctor, Dr. Rebecca Reeves, we are able to offer that where you cannot just get it on any website online. Also, the beauty of our apothecary is you know that you're getting fresh product. It's not sitting in a warehouse expiring. You are getting it from the source, and it's not going to be a counterfeit product, which is actually a big issue in our industry. SkinCeuticals does have a diverse array of products and different special serums that can help with hydration and maintaining the skin barrier. They have a lot of user-friendly products, and you do find that a little goes a long way with these. One of their products I'm partial to is just their Simply Clean Cleanser. It is has coconut oil derivative in there, but it's not going to suffocate the skin, but it's a great gel cleanser that has enzymes to gently exfoliate, clean the skin well, but not strip the skin of moisture. I use a lot of Revision skincare in my back bar because I find that it is gentle and effective, especially after doing a doozy of an in-office treatment for patients. I think it's plays well with what I offer to patients in the treatment room. I use a lot of the hydrating serum, which is a nice oil-free antioxidant-based moisturizer to replenish the skin. And I do love the IntelliShade True Physical, which is an antioxidant-based sunscreen, and it has a nice warm tint to it. Has almost like a thicker BB cream balm texture to it, so it adheres really well to the skin. And it's nice if you're not a makeup wearer that it gives you a little coverage while protecting with a non-chemical based sunscreen. We also have the Skin Better line, which is great because they have a really cool technology that you can use in their evening products called Alpha Ret. And they're basically taking a conjugation of a lactic acid molecule with retinol. So those who want to use retinol in their products, they tend to have a lot of multitasking serums that incorporate this in where it helps increase tolerability to the product. One thing I'd like to mention about Skin Better that I do love, it's a newer product they have. It's getting more into supplementation versus just topically putting on your skincare. A lot of us are looking for like the next best thing, the latest and greatest. And instead of adding a new skincare product to my routine, I do take the Bio Rewind, which is a rosmarinus or rosemary-based supplement from Skin Better. And that helps with addressing something called advanced glycation end products. When we age, our skin does appear to lose its luster, and we see more signs of oxidative stress, redness, inflammation, sun damage. The Bio Rewind, the intention is that if you take 2 to 6 capsules a day, that depends on where you're at in the routine, it can help address advanced glycation end products. And advanced glycation end products take sugar that binds to collagen and elastin fibers as you age, and it breaks them down. So this is helping to fight that collagen degradation just by taking a supplement daily. So I take 2 a day. It works well. I feel I've seen changes in my skin. And it's been about, I want to say it's been about 8 months.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. So last thing I want to touch on is your skin. You have like the most precious skin. It's glowy. It's everything you want it to be. What are you doing for people that have been watching you this whole time that are fascinated like me?
I hope my makeup's okay.
Yes.
So I'm pretty consistent. I will never skip my morning and evening routine. I drink my water. I really do think not drinking alcohol for me has been very beneficial. I've tried to cut my sugar intake. I've been pretty locked in and mindful lately, so that's been nice. But aside from those outside habits, I cleanse in the morning with my Simply Clean. I follow with a vitamin C. I tend to use the C clarifying serum from Obagi. Now that we're getting into winter, my formulation that I use that was once normal to oily is now normal to dry. I also do use the PTOX, which is going to really hydrate the skin and help in addition to any neurotoxins that I get. It's going to help with reducing wrinkle modulation. And that helps soften lines and wrinkles. And I try to stay pretty stoic. So not making too many expressions here.
Yeah.
And what else do I use? Generally, those are my go-tos along with the AGE Advanced Eye product from SkinCeuticals that has light diffusers and reflectors to really open up the eye area. It's a really nice, rich formula that's appropriate year-round, morning and evening. And for moisturizer, I do love the AGE Interrupter from SkinCeuticals. I have used that for years. Although it is generally marketed for more mature skin and for those with fine lines and wrinkles, I think my skin tolerates it well. They use Proxylane in the product, which really plumps the skin. And I do swear by the Obagi Physical Defense Sunscreen. And that is more of a dewy, balmy, hydrating sunscreen. It's a big multitasker. It has flavonoids. It has broccoli extract. It also is a physical blocking sunscreen with a slightly warm tint to it. And then in the evening, cleanser, Resveratrol, as I discussed earlier. And I also still use my PTOX, my AGE, and my AGE interrupter.
Okay.
And I'll always add my blender and my retinol in there. And those can be, some weeks I'll use them every single day. Other weeks, depending on how my skin's looking and feeling, what part of my cycle I'm in, I will kind of back off on those.
Well, I hope everyone was taking notes on that. I know I was.
Jot that down.
Yes, for later. Anything else you want to talk about today, Erin? Where can people find you? Are you on social media? Of course, book with Erin on the website.
Go for it. So I am not on my social media much, although you can find me on Instagram at captivate.erin, Erin. I'm not on there too much. I'm in the treatment room. We're keeping busy.
Yeah.
So you can find me here in the office. It's best to schedule a consultation. You can also find me in the DeWitt location. So I am exclusively in DeWitt at the main Captivate HQ. And just see me in the treatment room. It's where the magic happens.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Erin. We might see you in a future episode, hopefully, but you're wonderful.
Thank you. See you in my treatment room.